here now, letting go of whatever our day has brought, and bringing ourselves here and present together. Thank you. Thank you so much. So tonight I'm going to talk in 3 separate sections. The first one is a little bit of background on chakras. How do we know about chakras? Where did they come from? And the second part is going to go through each of the chakras and to also bring your attention to the corresponding crystals. And of course, there are many, many, many crystals that relate to the chakras. But I've chosen a few that are perhaps the more iconic ones. And in addition, in the information that was sent about on the Zoom, there was a paper with information on a basic practitioner's kit. So that's the idea that if you're really interested in exploring the possibilities around working with crystals, that this is just a guideline, a suggestion around what might be a good place to start. And you don't need to have all of these either. As long as you have one that corresponds to each of the chakras, that's terrific. In many cases, it would be good to have 2, but it's all really quite flexible. And so before we get started with that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and how I came to be, talking about crystals. I'm a retired social worker. I've been interested in crystals for a very long time. And even though I worked almost my entire life in social services and really enjoyed my work, I always had this parallel life, which was a spiritual quest, really. It just propelled me forward to find answers to some of those big questions like, why are we here? What's my place? Why is there such a difference in happiness and access for people to some of the better things in life? So with that questing, I found myself drawn to a spiritual community in Scotland called Finhorn, which was a beautiful experience. I was there for almost 3 years. And then when I came back to Canada, I participated in lots of conferences and workshops. I started buying lots of spiritual books and began my collection of crystals as well. And then fast forward to 2001, and I had a pretty serious burnout, and I wasn't able to work anymore. And so part of my healing journey, I was trying out different things, and I had a hot stone massage therapist. And that was a wonderful experience. And after that, she and I began talking about the crystals that were in the room. And the crystals had an event. They made a noise, they sparkled and flashed, and we were just in awe. And so that led me to start talking with her a little bit more about crystals, and that led her to invite me to her meditation group to speak about crystals. And after I did that, the group asked if I could do a day-long workshop. So I did that too. And things just kept evolving from there. And eventually I had a crystal practitioner certificate program, which was a 12-hour program. And it covered 4 main areas: clear quartz crystals, chakras and stones, sacred geometry, and the 4th part was working intentionally with the crystals in laying on of grids, using the medicine wheel, and focusing on places on the planet that were real hot spots of difficulty. So our intention was to try to relieve some of the suffering and to bring compassion and love with the help of the crystals. So after doing that Crystal Certificate Program Level 1, the students decided they'd still like more. So this was a 12-hour program, and then I put a Level 2 together for Chakras and Crystals, and that was an additional 12-hour program. So let's get started. The history around the chakras is really quite fascinating. The chakras and yoga and all of that Eastern tradition has pretty much as its source, the best that I can tell, from the Vedic and Upanishad era. So that was approximately 5,000 years ago. Some say even 7,000 years ago. And you know how it's going with archaeologists. They're finding things and civilizations have been around a whole lot longer than we ever thought. So the Vedic tradition in ancient India was a civilization really that was very focused on spiritual development, on consciousness, on reaching to a higher level of consciousness. And they had an incredible amount of knowledge and wisdom. In fact, the word Vedas means knowledge. And it's also referred to as eternal knowledge, because their experience was that this knowledge, this vast knowledge of the universe, the stars, the cosmos, all the way down to details about the human body, that vast knowledge was out there in the universe. And so it was the adepts and the yogis and the very highly advanced spiritual people that accessed that knowledge and brought it back. The other really interesting thing is that knowledge primarily was given to the adepts and yogis in the form of vibration, in the form of sound, in the form of mantras and chants and devotional songs. So it's really quite an amazing thing to think of a civilization that went on for thousands and thousands of years and was able to bring back into this world, into the physical world, this incredible knowledge. So it wasn't until 1500 BC, they figure between 1500 BC and 500 BC, that the information, the knowledge, the vibration was actually written down in the Sanskrit language. And what I understand is that Sanskrit language is really a language of light. It's a language of sound and vibration. So fast forward to 1918, and a yoga practitioner and a adept at Kundalini yoga, tantric yoga, a man called Sir John Woodruff in Britain, he determined to do a translation of some of the papers, some of the original papers, and he presented a book called Serpent Power. And of course that related to the 6+7 chakra system that we all know, or was introduced to the Western world. So he's the one who provided that first opportunity to English-speaking people to have a glimpse into the wondrous workings of the Vedas and Upanishads. The Upanishads, by the way, also has an interesting story, because the name itself means sitting close beside. And it refers to the fact that there were students who would sit beside the adepts, the masters, the holy people, and they would sit beside and share and answer questions and help to clarify the Vedic 4 major texts. And so the Upanishads also give a lot of information about that civilization and the eternal knowledge that was accessed through deep meditation. So now we'll move on to the second section, which is, let's have a look at the chakras themselves. So what are chakras? Chakras actually means wheels. So they're wheels of light situated along the spinal column. And they are not able to be seen by the physical eye, but very much a part of sustaining our physical bodies here in this physical universe. And so the chakras, when you look at a picture, you know, they're pointed and fixed. But we have to keep remembering that it's such a dynamic system. It's about vibration. It's about dimensions of vibration, from the highest into physicality, into dense physicality. So these chakras are totally vital to our well-being, to our health, to our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And so all of us have heard the stories of yogis who've lived for hundreds of years. Well, their ability to work with the chakras and the forms of our physical universe certainly has assisted them in their longevity. So we have, it's also interesting because it's the chakras are like the rainbow. They're the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, lavender, and they also correspond to the notes in the musical scale. The bottom one being C at the base chakra, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the octave C. So you begin to get a sense when you think of the harmonics that are possible and the beautiful balancing that is possible. And so, you know, it begins to be quite an interesting exploration. Base chakra, again, root chakra, as it's perhaps more commonly known. The root chakra is located at the very base of the spine, and the color is red. And throughout this evening, when I talk about a color, I invite you to imagine a color that's pleasing to you. So when I say the chakra is red at the root chakra, feel free to allow yourself to imagine what kind of red might be at your base root chakra. Now, the root chakra has to do with our connection to the physical, our connection to the earth, our grounding to the earth. It's about security. It's about feeling safe. And it's interesting because in these COVID times, you know, we've had a hit to our sense of security and safety. And that was shown so clearly to us in the early months when people went out and bought toilet paper. Now, there was no real logical reason for that. But if you think about subconsciously, it was a root chakra issue. People were really scared and feared for their lives. And that translated into, you know, getting toilet paper. So the stone that I most prefer for the root chakra, again for myself, it is the garnet. The garnet is an amazing stone. It's called a rhombic dodecahedron. And the rhombic refers to the fact that there are diamonds, so diamond shapes in a natural garnet. And the dodecahedron means that there's 12 diamond shapes. And a garnet grows only 2 centimeters in a period of 10 million years. So it's a phenomenal stone. I mean, all the crystals are ancient. You know, they're referred to as the wisdom keepers or the record keepers too, because they've lived since the beginning of the birth of our earth. So in terms of needing to heal and soothe and strengthen our sense of security and safety, the red stones are the best choice. So that's the little garnet, the big garnet. Second chakra. The second chakra is also referred to as the sacral chakra. And the color is orange. And the sacral chakra relates to sexuality, creativity, intuition, emotion. These are all the things, and this is all on top of the fact that there's a whole lot going on in terms of organs in the whole 3 chakra area. So, second chakra, carnelian. Carnelian is such a beautiful, soothing stone, well known in the Far East as well. The color orange. Moving up to the solar plexus chakra, the 3rd chakra, and the location of that, again, they're all along the spine, but in terms of us trying to locate the general area, it's between the heart and the navel. And the solar plexus chakra is the color yellow. And by the name of it, you can tell it's all about the sun. It's all about personal power. It's all about intelligence as well. You know, people who see auras and can see the colors that are emanating from our bodies, when they see yellow, that means there's a sign of strong intelligence. Similarly, when they see red, sometimes that means there's, you know, issues with security and safety. So as for the solar plexus, I really like the citron. The citron is a beautiful, beautiful quartz crystal. Now here at the Garden of Light, there is such a variety of stones. And so, you know, you may say, oh, I'd really like to strengthen my solar plexus and get a stone that will help me with that. So, you know, if you come in, just allow yourself to peruse the yellow stones and see which one says, take me, take me. And it may not be citron. You may want a softer, gentler vibration to ease into that sense of personal power. So what else? I feel like I'm missing something, but I'll just keep going. So yes, the 3 chakras below the heart chakra, we'll move into the heart chakra. But the 3 chakras below, you can see the color red, orange, yellow. How perfect is that? That it's actually the colors that we see in the fall during this transitional season, when the leaves show us their life force and then drop ever so gently or in the wind. But red, orange, yellow, so the 3 lower chakras, boy, oh boy, there's a lot happening there. There's a lot that oftentimes needs to be cleared and worked on, because our body holds the memory of everything we've ever experienced. So it's good to spend some time working on your 3 chakras, the lower chakras, because that's going to assist the boost up into the higher chakras and the more subtle vibrations of the higher chakras. So the heart chakra, the beautiful heart chakra, which is the holding, centering place for our living of our lives. It's the holding for the 3 chakras below and the 3 chakras above. The color is usually green, but people do talk about having 2 colors for the heart chakra. And I believe strongly in that. And so for the color, so the 2 colors, green and pink. So the green, my favorite stone for the heart chakra, the green stone is jade. And jade, as we know, is a very sacred stone, very revered in Far East cultures. This one is BC jade, British Columbia jade. Beautiful, deep resonance, almost like velvet. Very strong, very powerful. The green has to do with nature and our connection to nature, and how the green of nature is always available to us for healing. That it allows us to open our hearts and breathe, relax. Green for the heart chakra. The other stone is the rose quartz. Now, again, there's some beautiful stones here. There's rhodonite, another beautiful heart chakra stone, soft, beautifully soft. And another one is rhodochrosite, which is a stronger pink. But I choose the rose quartz because it's more commonly known and more commonly available. And it reflects that aspect of the heart that is related to unconditional love. Unconditional loving acceptance and compassion, caring about others, caring about peace, caring about the animals. It's this open-heartedness and sense of feeling and caring about all of life. The heart chakra is also the most vulnerable of the chakras. And, it's hard to live a life without having some sorrow, disappointment, brokenheartedness. So we need to work at supporting our spirit in its heart place. And the stones are there to do that. The stones are our allies in our healing process. Moving up to the throat chakra. So the upper 3 chakras start to get into a more subtle vibration, I would say. And beginning with the throat chakra, the blue, the lovely blue, it's more like a sky blue, this openness to devotion, this openness to expressing the beauty of life. The throat chakra is all about communication. And of course, for people on a spiritual path, there's a desire to be careful about how we speak, what we say, the vibrational tone. All these things are really important when we're taking responsibility for the vibration that we give out to the world. So there's 2 stones that I recommend, although again, there's so many beautiful stones. Blue lace agate, which has this very light vibrational energy, very soothing, sitting on the throat. And the throat chakra is at the back and at the base of the throat, connected to the thyroid, related to the thyroid, as all the chakras are related in that beautiful glandular circuitry, which is so important, again, in our physical, mental, emotional balance. The second stone that I choose is the turquoise. And turquoise, as we know, is a very sacred stone around the world, particularly in the American Southwest with the indigenous peoples, also in Tibet. Turquoise, the stone of the gods and goddesses, stone of the sky. beautiful, beautiful stone. And I also want to bring your attention to this beautiful CD of music. And as you can see, it's got that beautiful sky blue. And it is one of the most beautiful CDs that I've ever heard that really demonstrates the vibration of devotion that the throat chakra is ready to give out. It's a beautiful CD. It's actually available here, and you won't be disappointed if you get this, if you have a chance to get it. It's a rare find. Beautiful. Will bring you right into that devotional aspect, which is the highest aspect of the throat communication chakra. Lastly, no, not lastly, not yet. Going up to the third eye, the Ajna center. Okay, moving up into the third eye. The third eye is about expanding one's awareness into the multidimensionality of our living, of our life, of creation. It's the place where one begins to experience and develop multisensory perception. So seeing other dimensions, seeing in the astral plane, clairaudience, clairvoyance. These are the characteristics of a highly developed and balanced third eye. The color is indigo, this beautiful, deep night sky blue, deep blue. And the stone most commonly used for the third eye is lapis lazuli. So lapis lazuli, well, some say that the capstone of the pyramid was once lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is primarily found in Afghanistan. It's an amazing stone for soothing, even if our third eye isn't entirely open. It's a very powerful resonance with the vibration of lapis lazuli. Moving up further to the crown chakra. Now this system of the chakras is called the 6+1 because the 6 chakras are inside the body and the 7th chakra is at the top of the head. And remember that these are spinning wheels. So for the top of the head, the color is usually lavender, although sometimes it's white. More often, the white refers to the oversoul self, the connection to cosmic consciousness. And the crown chakra is more the doorway to that. And the color is, so there is that sense of connectedness to all that is, but it's not the level yet of the ascension into the full state of oneness. So the color is lavender, beautiful lavender, and the stone typically is amethyst. Now, amethyst, another absolutely beautiful and transformational stone. Amethyst has these qualities of synthesis, of pulling together and enabling different energies to blend in a harmonious way. It's the stone of the Aquarian age, which is soon to be upon us. The Aquarian age of love, peace, and harmony. It's a stone that's really valuable in all situations of meditation, individual meditation, group meditation. It's a stone that's really very, very wonderful to have as your personal stone or in any room of the house. It also is particularly beneficial in helping to find resolution towards addictive personalities, or tendency to have addictive behavior. So amethyst, very, very special. So that's a very basic connectivity to the chakras. It's an immense world. I feel humbled and filled with humility to even talk a little bit about it, because it's the world of spirituality. It really is. And I find, I always want to mention the charts, chakra charts. So here at the Garden of Light, they have an English and French version, and the chakra charts are really wonderful because they allow you to see at a glance the multiple aspects that the chakras offer in terms of there's yoga poses, there's essences, there's food, there's affirmations, there's challenges. It's a full program. You could work on a chakra a week and just focus. So that reminds me that to tell you that, you know, an easy way to work with the chakras with the stone. So let's talk maybe about the carnelian, just as an example. So let's say you've determined that you really want to work on some issues related to the second chakra, so issues of sexuality, creativity. You can just hold the stone. Hold the stone. You can put it in front of you. You can lay up all the chakra stones in a row. That's another way to begin to engage with the energy that the stones offer. But you can hold the stone in meditation and just concentrate on that area of the second chakra and allow the stone to interact with your second chakra. And there may be images and memories and things that come up as a result. So you just let them go. Bless them, let them go. So that's a very sort of simple way to work with the stones and the chakras, one at a time. So two other things I want to talk about before we move on to the third section. And the third section has to do with having an experience of the chakras by toning, by the crystals, by visualization. I think you'll enjoy that. So the two things I wanted to talk about before that are the black stones. So these beautiful black stones, like this is black tourmaline, really powerful stone, glowing like a pillar. Obsidian, beautiful black obsidian. And this is a stone from Costa Rica, is a volcanic stone, dark black. And you know, you can find these dark black stones just about anywhere, wherever there are mountains or have been mountains. And the thing about the black stones is I like to use them for that extra special boost to connectivity to the earth, that extra special boost of grounding. And in these times when things are all changed up, you know, we really need to try and stay grounded as much as we can. Keep our health, keep our faith. The black stones are really, really helpful that way. You can use them by holding them in your hand, in your pocket, or you can put them under your feet when you're meditating, or even while you're sitting and, you know, doing some activity on the computer. There's really a great collection here of these black stones. Smoky quartz is another one that works like that. Yeah, check them out. Lastly, again, before we do the toning, I want to bring forward some of the information from the last session when I was talking about clear quartz crystals, because, well, I think it's a valuable piece of information to have in terms of relating to the chakras. One of the things I forgot to mention about the chakras is the polarity nature, the masculine, feminine, negative and positive polarity, related, negative and positive polarity, not in terms of what's good or not good, but in terms of electricity, in terms of our magnetic electric makeup. Very important to be sure that we keep the electric nature of our vibration strong. Water, having continual and good intake of water is one way, and working with the chakras with the stones is another way, particularly the clear quartz, because the clear quartz stones are what's called piezoelectric. And piezoelectric means that when pressure is exerted, now either mechanical pressure or pressure from sound, even sound waves on there, causes the emission of an electric charge. And the inverse of that piezoelectric, so piezo means pressure, the inverse of that is if an electric charge is put into the crystal, then the crystal oscillates with incredible regularity, which makes it valuable in a number of areas. Oscillating frequency with a steady output of the steady vibration. So that's a quality, for example, that's used in watches, no longer needing the wind up, but having the crystal. Often, if you're still wearing a watch, you'll see it says crystal right on the face. And that means that it's powered by a silicon chip, by a cell activating the silicon chip, and the silicon chip oscillating and vibrating in a frequency that is so regular and dependable that it's used in watches. The other characteristics of clear quartz crystal is that it receives, stores, and emits a frequency, knowledge, energy. So that's why, one of the reasons why it's used in computer technology, on motherboards. It's a semiconductor. It stores information, it stores frequency until it's required. So crystal technology is everywhere. We just tend not to be so aware of it. It's used in satellites, it's used in transistors, it's used in sonar activity, it's used in defense devices, it's used in medical devices. You can think of a ultrasound that emits a frequency that's crystal based, and of course sonar technology that works by sound, an emitting of a vibration that then determines depth. So crystal technology is really what's all about in our planet. And so those same natural qualities of quartz is what makes it also beneficial for metaphysical uses. So it's beautiful, it's like solid light, and it has an electric charge. So we feel a resonance with all of that because we're also made of light and we're also got an electric charge. So when we feel an attraction to a particular crystal, it really is because that's a vibration that's similar to us. It's like a friend that someone new that you see across the room and you just feel a connection to them. That's a magnetic electric connection. So We're going to move on now. Thank you. We're going to move on to the third section, which is the experience of the chakras. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to invite you to imagine a lotus. So I brought an example of a lotus, and there's beautiful ones up there. Look at all those beautiful colors. I'm going to ask you to imagine, sense, or feel that you see, for example, a beautiful red lotus at the base root chakra. And then I'm going to ask you to tone with me, a tone that corresponds to the chakra. And we're going to, by this, we're activating our memory, really, of our connection to the purity of lotus, our connection to the memory of the purity of the icon of a lotus. And by articulating a tone, like a tone is not something that you need to replicate. Like, you don't need to perfect this tone to sound like me. It's an opportunity to find your own tone related to your chakras. And there's no right or wrong here. It's really an exploration into the language of our body through the chakras. So I'm going to start the meditation visualization with the bell and get started, and I will end it with the bell. So we're going to go up the chakras, pause for a moment, and then come back down, toning one tone at a time. Up we'll be doing 3 tones, down we'll be doing 1 tone. So let's begin. I'll just invite you now to, have your feet on the floor. Make sure that your spine is straight, and find a place of really feeling comfortable where you are. I invite you to take a couple of deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathing again in deeply, cleansing breath, in through the nose, out through the breath, out through the mouth, letting go of any and all, anything that's from your day that you need to let go of, to be here and present and begin this exploration with your chakras. Okay, here we go. Imagine, sense, or feel now that you see a beautiful white light going from the base chakra, your root chakra, down into the earth, deeply into the earth. And this is your grounding rod. This is what gives you a sense of security and safety and connection to the earth. And now imagine, sense, or feel that you see a beautiful red lotus at your root chakra. And in the lotus is a beautiful garnet stone. And the tone for the root chakra is eh, as in red, eh. So I'm going to invite you to breathe in a beautiful red color that is pleasing to you. And as you tone 3 times, imagine that red is forming into a beautiful lotus with the garnet at your root chakra. Here we go. Imagine, sense, or feel now, again, a beautiful white light going up your spine from the root chakra to the second chakra, which is located just below your belly button in the location of your spine. And imagine, sense, or feel now that you see a beautiful orange lotus with a beautiful carnelian stone in the lotus. And the tone here for the second chakra is O, as in the word home. Breathing in now, we're going to breathe in beautiful orange color. Imagine, sense, or feel now a beautiful white light going up your spine from the second chakra to your third chakra, the solar plexus area between your heart space and the second chakra, solar plexus. Imagine, sense, or feel now a beautiful yellow lotus with a beautiful crystal citrine in the lotus. And the tone here is actually the Om, A-O-M, for the solar plexus. Breathing in yellow now. A-O-M. Imagine, sense, or feel now a white light moving up your spine from the solar plexus up into your heart area. And imagine, sense, or feel a beautiful green lotus with a beautiful jade. And a second beautiful pink lotus with a beautiful rose quartz. And the sound, the tone for the heart chakra is ah. The sound that you might make if you saw a beautiful newborn baby, or if you saw an act of kindness, or somebody told you a really heartwarming story. So ah for the heart chakra. Here we go, breathing in green and pink, filling our heart space with green and pink. Imagine, sense, or feel now beautiful white light going from your heart chakra up to your throat chakra, at the base of your throat. And imagine, sense, or feel now that you see a beautiful blue, sky blue or turquoise lotus. And in the lotus is a blue lace agate or turquoise or any color of blue that is pleasing to you. Breathing in the blue now together. And the tone is for the 3 upper chakras, the tone gets like a higher vibration. So you may need to stretch to get it the first time, because it may come as a surprise. They're high tone, high vibratory energy. And the tone is ooh, as in the word blue. Breathing in the blue now. Imagine, sense, or feel now beautiful white light moving from your throat chakra up to your 3rd eye. Imagine, sense, or feel now a beautiful indigo lotus and a beautiful lapis lazuli in the lotus. Om Mani Padme Hum, the jewel in the lotus. And the sound, the 3rd eye, is as in mum. And if you start the with your mouth closed to get the sounding, and then open your mouth a little to allow the vibration in the upper part of your mouth. Breathing in now, beautiful indigo blue. Imagine, sense, or feel now a beautiful white light going from your 3rd eye up to the top of your head, the crown chakra, where you will see a beautiful amethyst lavender colored lotus with a beautiful amethyst inside. And the tone for the crown chakra is E, as in glee. Here we go, breathing in beautiful lavender. Now we've activated our 7 chakras with color and sound and crystal. Just sit in this harmonious, gentle vibration for a moment. And so now we'll begin our descent down the chakras. And as we tone, we'll imagine, sense, or feel the lotus at each of the chakras, gently closing. At the crown, the sound is E, as in bleed. At the third eye, the ajna center, the sound is as in mum. And the throat chakra, U, as in blue. And the heart chakra, Ah. And the solar plexus, A, O, The second chakra, O. And the root chakra, E, as in red. Imagine, sense, or feel now that go down through the white light that is connected to the earth, your grounding rod, pulling up the grounding rod, back up to your base, root chakra. And when you're ready, begin to focus your awareness in your space where you are. Take a deep breath, have a drink of water, wiggle your fingers and toes, hear the sounds around the room. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, feel free to tap them out there in the chat section of the Zoom. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. And thank you very much for coming. I hope you've enjoyed our journey up the chakras. And I hope you'll be able to come in 2 weeks so we explore some wonderful things with sacred geometry. Thank you.
We're getting lots of thank yous, but so far no questions.
Right, right.
And our next session is November 16th at the same time on Monday, 7:30 p.m.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Thank you. Namaste. Be well, everyone. Take care. Enjoy your night. Mm.